them, which are our favorites. And I would we start with the Jungle Moonkin 4/4/4 Beast. Both players have spell damage +2. Looks quite stupid. The thing I like is Moonkin swipe. Turn 6 or turn 8 play with the Innervate. And he doesn't have to... I mean, he could die next turn. If you play this against a Warrior, okay. I mean, he has Bash, Slam, stuff like that. Yeah, well, if you play this against... If you play this against a Secret Paladin, there are only 2 contacts. That could be annoying. So it's actually something that is definitely stuff that could work. Put the music off, no problem. So that's actually something that could be working out. I like it. I'm a personal fan of the card because it's a beast, actually. So you could start to play some beast spell damage stuff. You can start to play spell damage Druid even harder. Like, you go for Malagus, but you actually go for Malagus with some beast in front of that. I'm not saying it's a good card. It's just an interesting card. I would say more an arena pick. Because, like, if you get it in arena and you actually have spells in your deck, it can be good. And especially that the enemy is maybe not having the spells. I mean, arena, you know, everything could be random. So I actually like the card, just personally. But I'm not saying it's good. It's probably not going to be used in Constructed. We get the Raptor, and I like him. Again, because he's a beast. I mean, he's a 3/2 for 3. That like sucks super hard. But you get the Knight of the Wild, which gets like 1 cost lore every time you play a beast. You're also able to summon a random 1 cost minion. So he's a 4/3 for 3. I mean, there are a lot of 1 costs. I mean, they're like, you can get a Zombie Shout 2/3. Then you would effectively have like a 5/5 somewhere out like this. You get Abusive Sergeant, then you get a 5/3. You know what I mean? It's like you have to count on his stats, just the Death Rattle, and then actually he's okay. I guess another one where it is really great in arena, especially considering it's an uncommon card, that it can work out. It's a beast, so it's just like they're trying to push Beast Druid a bit more. They introduced beast synergy cards like the Knight of the Wild and Druid of the Fang, but you never were able to use them that much. I mean, with having the Mounted Raptor, it can be fun. I like him. I personally like him. You have to just look at the arena also. It's not all about Constructed. I mean, most people just like go down on Constructed, how good it will be. But for arena, I like the Mounted Raptor. And damn, it's a Raptor, guys. What can we say? Raven Idol? What would you say? Discover a minion or discover a spell? I mean, this card can be absolutely insane. Since you discover, like, there's no cost for that minion. It could be everything, and it could be no cost for the spell, so it could be everything there also, correct? I like the Raven Idol, but I would not play it probably. You play it in a Miracle Druid. A Miracle Druid. I like it for the 1 mana cost. That's like for 1 mana, it's fine. It's a lot of RNG, but the thing is, the RNG blow gets lessened by choosing 3. I mean, that's still the option 3 out of XXX. But 3 out of XXX is better than 1 out of XXX because you can actually adapt to the situation. So you're like, okay, I need heal, I need removal, or I need summon a minion. So if you get like those 3 options, you can pretty much choose from them. And I like that the cards are out of nowhere. So it's not like the Discover cards are coming from your deck. The Discover cards are actually coming out of thin air. It's like, oh, Discover card, thank you, sir, for handing me that. So you effectively actually play more cards in your deck than you play. I mean, you get the Raven Idol, you use that, and you get your 31s card, for example. It's pretty cool. I like it. Gonna be quite some interesting stuff going on. But this could actually enter Constructed. Hunter cards now? Dart Trap? This is fun. When opposing hero power is used, deal 5 damage to a random enemy. I don't see where, like... I would play a snipe over this, but it's interesting. The problem is that you're getting the... If you're playing against a paladin, it might like turn super awkward. Yeah, it could be funny for a face hunter, but it's a random enemy. If it would be like when opposing hero power is used, deal 5 damage to face, then I would say yes. But with his being like random, I don't really like it. You cannot rely on it. It could be to everything, especially if the enemy plays like a small minion swarm deck, something aggressive himself. Then the card is going to be like that. What if you play against someone that doesn't use their hero ability all the time because they're playing on curve? What if there's someone playing on curve and your secret is just like super fucked for until turn 8 and he uses it the first time? Nah, I don't really believe in it's great. It's a fun card and absolutely insane. And I think someone will make a good deck with it, but no, not supporting that. But I like him because he's a camel and he's smiling at me. He's like, look at my teeth. My teeth are yellow and they probably stink. Desert Camel, 3/2/4 Beast. I like that it's a 2/4 Beast for 3, actually. This is like good stat. It's like Leok stats, but you can set up a Beast that sustains and also has like an effect and can get really good Leok. Put a 1-cost minion from each deck into the battlefield, and I love that effect because he's a 3/5 or like even more if you consider your 1-drops, but he's really good in a Face Hunter. I think he's actually good in a Face Hunter. You can summon Leper Gnomes, you can summon Worgen Infiltrators, you can summon Web Spinners and stuff like that. I mean, the thing is, you're most likely going to have a 1-drop, but does your enemy have a 1-drop? Does your enemy have a 1-drop? And you have to consider that you're drawing a 1-drop out of your deck. That means you're not going to draw that 1-drop anymore in late game. That's just the perfect thing. You thin your deck, you get your 1-drop out, and the enemy might just not have one. You're playing against Vorion. You on turn 3, Desert Camel, another minion, 3/5 board value, or actually, let's say Leper Gnome, then it's 4/5 in total with 2 damage more. This is just insane. I think the Desert Camel is definitely going to be played, and it's going to be annoying. Huffer is always better than the Camel, obviously, but we're looking into mid-range Hunter. We're not looking into Face Hunter, probably, like also mid-range Hunter. It just gives you more opportunity to go really for a Beast deck, summon bonus Beast. I mean, if the Desert Camel summons a Web Spinner, you get the Web Spinner, and the Web Spinner is also a bonus minion. So actually for 3 costs, you get 2 minions, and then you get a minion also. And that's just like insane combo-wise. So the Desert Camel is one of my favorites so far. And Explorer's Hat also. This is just, I love that card. I consider it as a buff you do in a turn. It's like give a minion +1/+1 and Death Rattle, add an Explorer's Hat to your hand. So in general, you get infinite Explorer's hats. Multiple Explorer's hats? Yeah, okay. German brain messing with me. The thing is, I would use that to buff and trade. So like you buff, trade, get it back in your hand. You buff, trade, get it back in your hand. And this is what I like so much. It's a good idea. Exactly, Freak Show, what you're saying there. It's a good idea. It's just another interesting mechanic. Like really use something, get it back into your hand. I like that a lot. It can be like really buff, trade, buff, trade, buff, trade. Not like buff something, then it gets silenced and killed. Then your Explorer's Hat is wasted. But I really like the Death Rattle effect there. And also you have to consider, you want to go really crazy on Feint Death Hunter. Really crazy on Feint Death Hunter. It's fun. Hero power is better than this card, absolutely, but you have to go for it. Like, you have to see what you can else do with that. I don't think it's needed to be played, but it's great to have. And there are like some bonus things to just do with that card. It's just funny. I mean, Explorer's Hat and Feint Death, and then you get more Explorer's Hats, and then you get more Explorer's Hats. Unnecessary, but great. The problem is that the Hunter gameplay is just not profiting from plays like this. Hunter will always be a rather forward deck, a rather faster deck. Control Hunter is just not needed because the hero ability is just face damage, and that makes it so easy. But if the meta gets like super duper slow and heal paladins and all of that stuff again, then maybe. Then maybe. Okay, those were the Hunter cards so far. Mage. One of my favorite cards in that collection. Your hero can only take 1 damage at a time. I like that. The problem is he's just gonna die. You play him, bam, dead. But I don't know. It forces your enemy to do stuff. You know, if you're playing against Freeze Mage and you play the animated armor, he needs to kill that first before he can do things. And I mean, you can buff him up, conceal him with a spare part, stuff like that. So I mean, effective, it's a taunter that prevents the enemy from hurting you. Against Face Hunter, you can only take 1 damage at a time from his from his hero ability, and then 1 damage from the minions. So, I mean, he's a soft taunt, and he can, in certain situations, be extremely good, I'd say. Especially if you play him behind a taunter, he can be nice to, like, just avoid stuff. And give it spell immunity, then it would actually be super great. I do agree on that. Like, hero powers and... But then he might also be a bit too good, really. If you give him spell immunity, he would be too good. I have to agree on that. But animated armor looks good. And it's an interesting new mechanic that you're going for. Your hero can only take 1 damage per turn. I would like to have something like that in a Shaman deck. I would love to have something like that in a Shaman deck versus Hunter. Nah, I just taunt up and they're playing the animated armor and like, you don't kill me and stuff like that. But yeah, like this, it's a good thing, but not insane. Discover a spell for 5. 6/3 in stats. I don't know if I like the card. I don't know if I like the card. It's just like, it's a 6/3 for 5, so it dies too easy. It's like that stupid thing, like that mech from Paladin. Like, it's Divine Shield for other mechs. But you can discover a spell, and it's like any spell. So, a no cost permitted there. A no cost limited. In Arena, yes. It's a Spell Singer plus Magma Rager. I like that. If it was 4 mana and a 5/3, 100%. For 5 mana, they're just 2 good 5 mana drops. I mean, you have the Azure Drakes, they draw you cards. You have Luthab, you have Belcher, you have Nexus Champion Surad. Well, maybe he could be like your small Nexus Champion Surad. Nicer than Azure Drake. In theory, he could be nicer than Azure Drake for one reason, that you actually get a bonus card, and Azure Drake only draws you a card. That's where you have to like see the advantage of the Ethereal Conjurer. He gives you an additional card out of thin air, out of nowhere, whilst the Azure Drake, for example, might give you spell damage, but it only gives you a card out of your deck. And like this, you can get something really great out of 3 spells, actually. So you can like tracking something super good. He might be used. You can even build your phase mage deck faster. You can tempo mage even faster. So I think the Ethereal Conjurer is okay. You just have to test him, how good he works out, how often you draw really good spells. In Arena, I would pick him in Arena always. It's just a bonus spell. With 6/3 stats, he can still clear stuff. If you're playing on curve, he's good. If you're not playing on curve, you can still get a really, really great spell, ultimately. I like him there. For constructed, he could be good. We'll see about that. Yeah, Forgotten Torch. I like that. I like the Forgotten Torch. It's interesting. Deal 3 damage. Shuffle a Roaring Torch into your deck that deals 6 damage. And the Roaring Torch also costs 3. That means for 6 mana, you get 9 damage. That's quite good. Well, you have to draw the torch first, but it's like a frost bolt for 3. That gives you 6 damage. I like that in Tempo Mage. I thought Ty's playing it in Freeze Mage, so it's definitely a thing. I mean, it's just, again, it's like more cards into more cards. Into Flamewaker, into Mana Worm, whatsoever synergy you want to go for. So it's not like you use that card and you lose something by it. You could even use it early on to kill a like 2/2 minion and stuff like that, and you would not be sad like this. I mean, sometimes you use your Frostbolt to clear something early on and you're like, yeah, okay, Frostbolt wasted. But this card is like, you use it and you get a bonus card in your deck. So yeah, it's just really, really great. Effectively, you play 2 Forgotten Torches and you get, well, 6 plus then another 12 damage, plus your Firebolts, plus your Frostbolts, whatever you play. So yeah, we'll see more Malagas, definitely. We'll see more Freeze Mages rising with Forgotten Torches. It's definitely going to be interesting. I love the card. That's just insanely good. It's just more removal into more removal. But in the end, it's also, you need to draw that card. early on or later on, then you need to get the things. The funny part about the Forgotten Torches, you play those even when you're fatiguing. You play it, then you instantly draw the Roaring Torch. I think there's no downside on this card, pretty much. There's just no downside on that card. I mean, the only... Damn. It has no freeze. It should have freeze. That would be a really good card. But so far, Roaring Torch and Forgotten Torch, that's just insane. Let's do the class cards first before we go to the other things. We go for Sacred Trial. I think this is the card I'm most enraged about. It was like, ja, ja, ja. Lasst uns den Geheimnis-Paladin noch besser machen. So when your opponent has at least 3 minions and plays another, destroy it. What is your problem, Blizzard? What is your problem? No, it's just like annoying. I don't even think it's like you're gonna play that on turn 1, but it's just if you go for your Mysterious Challenger, there's just another cool secret to pull out. I mean, we're not having so many decks out there that are actually getting 4 minions rolling. So it's just like, yeah, it's good against decks that try to swarm the board. It's good against decks that try to get a certain amount of minions out. But I think we're out of this time where actually 4 minions are being played, or where you often have a presence of 4 on the board. Often it's like 2 or 3 max, and then you already trade your minions in. So you can play around a Sacred Trial. Nonetheless, it's an annoying card, especially if you just forget about it. I think a lot of people will get enraged about this just because they forget it. I mean, they think, yeah, there's a Repentance in. It could be a commanding whatsoever competitive spirit and stuff like that. And then Sacred Trial, and you get melted. It's not the Uber card, but it's just another secret that can be annoying. I'm looking forward to see if anyone is going to make something good with it. It's fine. I like him. Her. It's a her. Yeah, she has boobs. Obviously. Giant statue from Older Man. Set of minions attack and health to 3. You start with a... I mean, her stats, a 3/4 for 4 is not the best. But effectively, she can be a 5/6 because she buffs a 1/1 minion up to a 3/3. I mean, if you have a Argent Squire, the 1/1 Divine Shield, and you just Keeper of Ultraman it's a 3/3 with Divine Shield. So, and you can heal your minions. Heal. If you trade like, I don't know, and you can make your 1/1s, like you can muster for battle into Keeper of Ultraman. It's just like, I don't like it being a 4-drop, but at a 3-drop, it would be OP. So it has to be a 4-drop. But in general, you go for muster for battle Keeper. You have Argent Squire Keeper and stuff like that. The card is definitely good. You can also lower the enemies. Like if the enemy plays something really big, you can obviously lower it. I'm only looking at the tempo fact of it, not at the counterplay fact. So obviously whatever your enemy plays, he goes for Dr. Boom, he goes for Ysera. This is like the really good thing. It's a better Elder Peacekeeper because it lowers the health also. He goes for Ysera and you just make it a 3/3 and kill it. So obviously it can be used also to defend yourself, to get something of the enemy's board wrecked. But in general, I'm just looking at the how can you make it more tempo viable? Like how can you even go more aggro Cancer Paladin of Death and Doom? Yeah, play Keeper of Ultraman. That sounds like a plan. I like it. Good card. Seal of approval there. Fell Reaver into a 3/3, I would love to see that. And in Arena, it's obviously a great card because it's an uncommon. It's like Great Crystal. Easy. And there we have anything can happen. Who of you is going to play that card? And the answer is everyone, correct? Because everyone wants to try this once. Every streamer, every player will probably try this at least one to make anything can happen work out. It's not the greatest card of the world, obviously, but summon 7 Murlocs that died this game is just interesting. I mean, you just go for a Murloc, you go for Murloc Knight, hero ability, you already have 2 Murlocs. Then you go for Murloc Knight hero ability. You already have 4 Murlocs. So that's just easy. You play random 3 other Murlocs. So getting 7 Murlocs is really easy. But it costs 10 on the other end. With Emperor, it would be 9. But you can swarm a board with Murlocs instantly. Considering that you also have... You only play the value Murlocs in a mid-range Paladin. I will try it out at some point. It's not a good card. It's okay. But on turn 7, like on turn 10, you might just be dead. I mean, like, the game is too fast for that. It's like Varian Rin. Varian Rin can be good if the game is not going too controlish. And if the game goes super aggro, then he's often too late. So for 10 mana cards or just like in the current meta. Yeah. And your board needs to be empty for that. That means you need to kill everything on your board, or the game needs to go bad anyways to anything can happen, be a thing. And that makes it like kind of a bad thing. Because, yeah, like you already need to be behind, or you need to have an empty board. Like the enemy needs to do flame strike and shit like that. And then you play anything and get the board back. But it's cool. It's cool, and I like it. So, it's good. Priest. Have you seen that card in Golden? Go on Hearthstone and look at the Golden End Tom card. It has the sickest animation so far when it comes down to a Golden card. Choose an enemy minion for 6 and shuffle it into your deck. It's like a recycle, only better. Because recycle shuffles it into the enemy's deck back again. But you can choose a minion and shuffle it into your deck. That's like... I like it. It's really good. Nothing more to say. How to make Priest more annoying. It's just a good card. Priest is definitely going to play a copy of it. Like they play a Light Bomb. They're just going to play 1 and Tom. They might actually put their Sylvanas out for it. Because it does pretty much the same somewhere. So the card is definitely going to be great. And I would like to see it going good. It's fun. It's fun. Excavated Evil. Deal 3 damage to all minions. Shuffle this card into your opponent's deck. For 5. Is that good? It's for me, it sounds like... That would be good in the patron meta. Seriously, in the patron meta, I would have loved to see an Excavated Evil that you don't have to rely on your Holy Nova or your Light Bomb. You could go for that. But, yeah, I don't know. Nah, I just don't like it. Nah, personally not a fan of it. I prefer Holy Nova because they are synergies. You can deal 3 damage to all minions, so why would you wreck your own board? You have a Circle of Healing, you have a Light Bomb, and a Light Bomb you can survive because of the nature of Priest minions, and you got the Holy Nova, so why would you play Excavated Evil? It's just bad. Like, there are better cards and there are better decks going on. Maybe if you play like a full control Priest with almost no minions, but even then I don't see it being a good card. I just don't like it. So, perfect. Discover a Death Rattle card for a 1/2 for 2. In a Priest deck, I can see it. Because Priest has, like, as I said, you have the Light Bombs for removal, the Circles, and the Holy Novas and stuff like that. So it's not even a tempo loss to play that card. I like him. He could give you any Death Rattle card. So the stats are awful. But, I mean, you used to have the... How's it called again? You used to have the Novice Engineer. It was a 1/2 that drew you a card, and the Museum Curator is the same pretty much, only that he gives you a bonus card to your deck, so the 31's card again, and he gives you the opportunity to, well, Tyrion. Well, Sneeds is neutral, correct? Yeah, stuff like that. So there are quite a lot of cool Death Rattle cards out, like just Shredder, Piloted, or Piloted Sky Golem. Belcher. There are quite some good cards to get with that. Priests don't have 2-drop cards. Well, they have if they play dragons, but without dragons, I like the Museum Curator. I actually think he's going to be played. He's an interesting dude. He just gives bonus cards. I mean, he can allow you to play on curve. That's like the thing. What I think about the Discover cards is so good. He can allow you to play on curve. So you can get a Harvest Golem, for example. You can choose out of 3. So you can adapt perfectly to the situation. You have a 2-drop. You're going to get that early in the game. Or you're going to get it like turn 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you can play any 5-drop in combination with him if you have a 5-drop there. So I just like the choose effect of Discover, where you can just really get the perfect minion for the perfect situation, just to play on curve. And on curve is actually the best thing to do in Hearthstone. If you play on curve, you're definitely going to have an advantage over your enemy. I like that. Yeah, it's neutral and own class with a Discover, if I did not mistaken on that. So Tyrion would not be possible, but whatever neutral Death Rattle card and own Death Rattle cards, like how they're called again, the Dark Cultist. So not wrong about that. I like the Curator. He's cool. Rogue had a snake. It's a beast. It's the first beast a rogue has, correct? The Panda Bear was not even a Panda Bear, which is pretty disappointing. But they don't have beasts at all. That means that a Web Spinner could give you that also. Just out of interest where that can go. Like just seeing as a Web Spinner could also give you the Moonkin, correct? And you would have +2 spell damage as a hunter. Brain blown. Destroy any minion damaged by this minion for 1/1. I don't like it. Yeah, I just don't like it. It's just like, you know, it just gets pinged like against Mage, against Druid, against Rogue itself. They just get too easy rid of it. If it would at least have charge, or if it would have at least stealth, then it would be OP, sure. But you know, I mean, I just don't really like that super much. It's no. Destroy any minion. No, I don't think it's going to be played a lot. You can stealth it with the Conceal. It's a 2-1 for 1. Let's say if you're really playing an aggressive kind of rogue, like a face rogue, temper rogue, whatsoever, you could put it in instead of a Worgen Infiltrator, just like to have it. And with a Conceal or a Master of Disguise or whatsoever, it can actually get concealed, but 1/2 stats would be better. I do agree on that. Well, you can get this from a Mounted Raptor, Chombi Sao. Thank you for telling. That's definitely true. So in like, if you go for like those synergy plays with a Druid card, maybe. But is it really a synergy play? It's funny if you get it probably from something else, but not if you like play it yourself. Tom Pillager, a 5/4 for 4 and add a coin to your hand. I like him because he allows you to do combo plays. I mean, he's a shredder. Essentially, like if he's a shredder or the Violet Teacher spot. If you, let's say we're just looking at Oil Rogue and you actually play the Tom Pillager on turn 4, that would be Shredder or Violet Teacher. If he dies, you get a coin to your hand, so you can go like for coin, Tinker Oil, easier. You can go for, then if you have still Violet Teachers, Violet Teacher coin plays, you can draw cards with them at within the card draw dude for 6. Auctioneer, if you would actually play something like that in Malaga style, I think the card is going to be good. I mean, you could start playing the Panda Bear, you know, the 6/7 Panda Bear with a coin. Probably not, but it's the thing. You can also coin him out. That's like the thing about it. You can coin him out on turn 3. He dies and you still have the coin. I mean, often you want to use the coin to like keep on playing on curve. So you do like a coin 4-drop into a 4-drop. But the thing is, with a Tom Pillager, you can go a coin 4-drop into a coin 5-drop if he dies as soon. The thing is, you can trade into your turn. You can trade in your turn to get the coin to do even better plays. So I would say he just allows you to go for more tempo and just to pick up like some better curve plays or some more curve plays. And that's what I like about him so much. He's like the worst Yeti. And he dies to a Shredder, which actually sucks. If he would be a 4/5 insane as a 5/4, he's a great dude. And especially, again, an arena card. I mean, he's a 5/4 that gives you a coin. And sometimes that's like the only thing you need in a arena match to actually go up front. You play him on turn 5. You get the as the first player, not as the second one. You get the coin, then you coin out a Boulder Fist Ogre, stuff like that. So for arena, I like him a lot. For constructed, I can see him also. No, this is going to be an interesting card to see, like, going to ask Mr. Yagud if he's going to add it to his decks, if he can actually build something with it. It can be good. it could be really contesting the Shredder spot. But oh, we'll see about that. Unearthed Raptor. Choose a friendly minion, gain a copy of its Death Rattle effect. I think I like him. The only part I don't like is that it's only a friendly minion. If it would be a random minion, not a random minion, any minion, it would definitely be better. The problem I only see with the Unearthed Raptor is you need a minion with Death Rattle out. So you already need a minion with Death Rattle out to actually make the Unearthed Raptor work. But in general, I just see him being extremely good. I mean, you can copy everything. So he's a 3/4 for 3. That's great base stats. That's a spider tank. That's a spell slinger. That's whatsoever. And you can actually go, like, you can copy a Death Rattle effect. I mean, let's go crazy and say Sneeds. But also Shredder. I mean, you have a Shredder out, you play an Unearthed Raptor. You have a Sky Golem out, you play an Unearthed Raptor. So he's just like, or target the 5/4 guys. Target Sylvanas. There are so many things you can actually go for. You could target the Nerubian Egg, for example. So you play with Cold Blood and so on, like an aggressive rogue, and then you just target the Nerubian Egg, and it means, yeah, if you kill him, you get a 4/4. There are so many cool Death Rattle minions that can actually go good. And I think you can, like, the rogue is definitely going to see a reshape. Like, they're going to be more different rogue decks. Probably not only oil. There's going to be more fun to it again. Or a Nuba Rock. Actually, yeah, also, there's like, there are fairly good handful of minions you can put down there. And I mean, there are new Death Rattle minions also coming. We haven't looked at the neutral Death Rattle stuff from the new expansion yet. So wait for it, and then we can say Unearthed Raptor. So it's going to be really interesting. Shaman. Best card so far, in my opinion. I think that's the best card of the whole expansion, because he's like a freaking 1/3. 1/3 is great, and whenever you overload, gain 1 attack per locked mana crystal. So whenever you overload, gain +1 attack per locked mana crystal, which tells me that if you overload for 2, he gets +2. If you overload for 3, he gets +3. EDC, EDC. I mean, he's just gonna get frostbolted and stuff like that. He can just get bashed. He's gonna get fiery waxed. But I just like the fact that the overload mechanic is back in action. You can start again to play some kind of Crusher Shaman. You can start to play overload spell damage. You can play Unbound Elementals again. Stuff like that. You can finally actually play a deck more and more focused around Lava Shock also, because you're playing all the overload cards. So I actually think that the Tunnel Chalk just, like, is good. I mean, Shaman always had, like, Zombie Shao. They played Argent Squires in 2014 and 13, actually. They play Abusive Sergeants every now and then. Stuff like that. They never had a good 1-drop for themselves. And that's why I'm really happy to just see a Shaman 1-drop that can actually synergize with the Shaman cards really good. So it will be interesting. Tunnel Chalks will be fun. And no, Dust Devil will not be viable because of the Tunnel Truck. Dust Devil will just never be viable. Fuck that card. Never talk about it again. Rumbling Elemental. 4-drop for 2/6. If you just look at the stats, you're like, okay, Oil Rogue used to play the Frigate Snowballed recently. I think a lot of Oil Rogue players added that. So stat-wise, possible. After you play a Battle Cry minion, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. Is that good? 2 damage for a 2/6. And you have to play Battle Cry minions. You can play 1 per turn, you can play 2 per turn. I mean, you have quite a lot. I mean, you play Azure Drakes, you play Fire Elementals, Lothab, Dr. Boom, stuff like that. So you have quite a lot of Battlecry minions going on. Yeah, I just read in the chat, let me change your mind. So it's like, you played that against a priest and he's like, oh, thank you for your minions, sir. I don't think it's going to be a really great card that will be played. In arena, again, it can be fun. It's just like if you have the battlecry minions and it's a 2/6 value, stat wise he can be okay. You can buff him up with an Argus, you can Shattered Sunflare again, you can Flame Tongue Totem, stuff like that. So he's not the worst, but in general it's just like, yeah, you're going for, how many battlecry minions are you going to play on turn 5? So you play them on turn 4 and then you're going to play 1 or 2. It's just like 2 damage bonus and that randomly split also. You can just not rely on it. I prefer Fell Cannon over that like 1,000 times. And then just, the thing is you cannot aim it. Like if you could aim it, it would be amazing, but then it would already be crazy OP again. With it being random, I don't like it so much. It should be like every time you play Battlecry minion, deal 1 damage to every enemy minion. That would be good. The random damage is the biggest problem in this card, and that makes it gimmicky. Tier 4 probably, if you want to go for a gimmicky deck. Everything is awesome. Give your minions +2/+2, cost 1 less for each Murloc you control. For 7. What I like so much is that it's not give your Murlocs +2/+2, it's give your minions. That means if you have totems out, if you have totems plus Murlocs, EDC, it's pretty fun. So I think it's awesome. Because it's really, the keyword is minions and not only Murlocs. If you already have 2 Murlocs out, it costs 5. And the enemy has to like count with that card happening. I mean, you have 2 Murlocs and 2 totems. That's +8/+8 value already. You have more than 2 Murlocs, that card costs less, and less. I mean, with a considered God Start, you could play this on turn like 3 or 4, probably. I think you can make use of it. I would play it over a Bloodlust, because it just gives your minions +2/+2. You could even play that in a deck that runs no Murlocs, because it gives all your minions +2/+2. It's just like a scenarios for 7 without having the big body behind it. But I mean, that doesn't make the card weaker. You just need like already 1 Murloc and it's a good card, and that's what I like so much about it. I mean, even with a 2-drop Murloc on turn 7, you can play that 2-drop Murloc that summons another Murloc, the 2/1 that summons a 1/1. So together with that card for 7, it's not the best play, but if you would only have those 2 cards, you can play that on turn 7, and you can play Everything is Happening, and you would have like a 4/3 and a 3/3. That's like a 7/6 board value for 7. It's not like the best, but that would be only if you're having only 1 minion on the board. And I mean, you can play Nerubian, which you play anyway, so they're going to be floating around there and just be like, oh, Nerubian. You're going to have 1 or 2 totems out anyways. You have the, how their totem caller dude's called again, like the 3-drop that summons a totem and stuff like that. So you're most likely going to get a lot of cards out, and you always, as a shaman, you always have a board present somewhere. I think that like Everything can happen is a thing to play. It's a thing to play in a shaman deck. Like there is 1 Spirit Wolves always being played and stuff like that. I like it card, and I think there are going to be some streamers that definitely going to introduce a new era of Murlocs. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you don't have to go for a full Murloc deck. You don't have to look at it, oh yeah, full Murlocs. No, just some Murlocs plus that card. It's already good. Like it. Tokens? No, that are tokens. That is Warlock. Curse of Rapham. Give your opponent a curse card. While they hold it, they take 2 damage on their turn. And what is the curse card? Now, damn it. Now I have to put on Google to find that out. Can they play the curse card? Can they not play the curse card? How is that working out? And I want to know that right now. Okay. Well, this is in your hand. Take 2 damage at the start of your turn. The curse card costs 2. Okay, I did not look at that. Give your opponent a curse card. While they hold it, they take 2 damage on their turn. So they will have to play like the curse card. If you play Curse of Rapham together with Lothab on turn 7, you would deal 4 damage, most likely. Yeah, that's not good. You can slow someone down. So the only thing I see about this is you can steal their tempo away. So you play it on turn 2, and they're gonna counterplay the Curse of Reform, and yeah. On turn 7, again with Lothab, you could probably deal 4 damage with it. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm marking that off already. It's like, it's fun. I think people can make use of it, but I would personally not give it any upside there. Even against a freeze mage. Well, yeah, okay, you bring a freeze mage down to 2 and then you curse him and he dies and he cannot do anything about it. This is what I like about it. Like, I agree on the against freeze mage is a good card because you can destroy him in his turn and he could do nothing about it. But is it like it counters freeze mage? Why not play the secret ruler? Why not play the Kazan Mystic then if you want to counter freeze mage? Just saying, my 5 cents. Dark Peddler, discover a 1-cost card. Yeah, why not? It's spell or minion, correct? Discover a 1-cost card. So you can, yeah, why not? It's a 2-drop that gives you another 1-drop. Might it be spell or minion? Where's the downside? It's average, it's good. It's a really great arena card being an uncommon. For constructed, I like it. It just gives you more options to play with. I mean, you just start on turn 2. You can coin them out and you get a curve play. It's already like the same on curve play. If you have only 2-drops in your hand, you can play on turn 3 something like you go for the 2-drop and you go for the 1-cost card. And that's like the thing there. It can definitely be good in Zoo. Stats only 2/2. I mean, that's better than the Priest dude. He was a 1/2, but he discovered a Death Rattle card and that like no cost limit. But I like him for the curve plays, and I'm looking really a lot on that because if you play on curve, you just overwhelm your enemy, and especially like in an aggressive meta, you can just go for more things. So I like that. Can you explain how exactly Discover works? So Discover, for everyone that hasn't read around it, how it exactly works, you play a card that has a Discover effect like him, and he will give you, like a tracking, 3 options. And you can choose from those 3 options. So those 3 options are not from your deck, they're from thin air. That means you can choose out of all 3, you can choose 3 cards, and that will be all neutral 1-cost card, and all of your classes 1-cost card spells and minions also. If you play the Dark Paddler. And you can choose 1 out of those 3 and you get it into your hand. And that means you just get free stuff out of thin air. And that's always perfect. I like him. He's good. Well, Relic Seeker, Relic Query Seeker, Relic. Yeah, I cannot German that. Sorry. If you have 6 other minions, game +4/+4, I find her funny. Implosion. That's the only card I would say about that. Implosion. Seeker. Problem is you cannot rely on it, and it's like, even with an Implosion, getting 6 minions on the board. Yeah. I mean, double 100 Creeper, a Rubinak, Implosion, Seeker. You can enforce to get that girl running. I don't think she... Yeah, Sea Giant is better. That's the thing. If you already have double 100 Creeper, if you already have double Nerubian Ag, and then you play an Implosion, yeah, you know what? Then you're going to play a Sea Giant, and you're not going to play the Seeker. So, it's a worse Sea Giant to some point, but it's just funny to see that mechanic going on. Like, if you have 6 other minions, game +4/+4. It's just Blizzard is starting to get more phrases into the game. That opens up the game for more design and for other cards that get, like, similar effects. If you have 4 or 5 minions, get something like that. Like Gormog, for example. And things like this going on. So, no. No. Just no. She's still a 1-drop, so you could get her from the Raptor also. You could get her as a 1-drop card from the card we just introduced, so the new Warlock card can give her out of thin air. You don't even have to play her. You could just get her from that dude, and then use her if there is a certain moment where it's actually good. She might not get BGH, but she's only a 5/5. I would take the BGH risk. I mean, there's only a limited amount of BGHs in every deck. It's not good. Do you like it? Double all damage dealt to your hero. So you play that on turn 1 to kill a leopard gnome. You hit the leopard gnome, you would take 4 damage. And then you get 2 damage from his poison explosion, and you get another 4 damage, correct? I see that right. So you would hit a leopard gnome with this, and he would deal 8 damage to you. Why do they do this to me? Yeah, Warrior's Molten new meta. That's the only way where I could accept that card. And then I cannot even accept it anymore. You can definitely go for Molten Warrior, but no. It's going to be 8 because you're going to get the Leopard Gnome Death Rattle damage 2 times also. Double all damage dealt to your hero. So you get 2 from attacking, plus 2 from the blade for the Leopard Gnome. And then you get 2 from the Death Rattle, plus the 2 from the blade again. So you're going to take 8 damage from killing a Leopard Gnome, and that already killed the card for me. Yeah, congratulations on Molten Warrior. You bring yourself down to 10. You need to draw those Molten Giants first to it ever made that work. Okay, Fierce Monkey. I love him because he's a monkey. Great card. And he's a beast also. That means you can actually get a Fierce Monkey from a web spinner. This is what I've always liked to see. You can get it from a web spinner, guys. That makes it interesting. He's a 3/4 with taunt. So finally, Bolster Warrior might actually be a thing. I like to have a 3/4 taunter. So you have your sparring partner, you have the monkey dude, and you have Sinjin. I like that. I like that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Ja, Affe mit Waffe. Best thing there. A fierce monkey get translated in a monkey with a weapon. And that sounds like so funny in German. It's like a 3/4 taunter. For 3. Good base stats, better than a spider tank. Better than the Iron Fur Grizzly. So Iron Fur Grizzly gets negated. Useless card there. It's neutral. Perfect. Did nothing more to say. Good base stats. No downside. It's a 3/4 taunter. It's good against aggro. You can, there's no beast synergy surprise in Warrior yet. Maybe there's beast synergy someday. And he can get bolstered up. So no really downside there. Obsidian Destroyer. I just saw that card. That's the first card I saw about the new expansion. It's a 7/7 for 7. And at the end of turn, you summon a 1/1 Scarab with Taunt. Good in Arena. I mean, War Golem is a 7/7 for 7, and that's it. In Arena, it's a really, really great card. In Constructed, for new players, so we have to see, welcome to Hearthstone. You haven't played a lot. Oh, you open your, you do the adventure, and you get an Obsidian Destroyer. Why not? I mean, for the people that don't have Dr. Boom, you know, poor Dr. Boom incoming. He can get BGH. That's why he's never going to be good in Constructed somehow. But, I mean, it's just simply an Arena card. This was just created there to do good in Arena. And it will be doing good in Arena. And that's like the thing there. So, nothing more to say about it. It's an 8/8 for 7 that like has to get killed, or it's just like, oh, a 1/1 Scarab. Or a 1/1 Scarab. He's like, Pete the Scarabs. And he just summons them more and more. He's good. Okay, that was all the class cards. And now we get neutrals going on. Oh, thank you for donation, bro. Great to have you there. That's good, that's good. Great to have you with me. Thank you for the €3. I like it. Shuffle an Ancient Curse into your deck that deals 7 damage to you when drawn. What if you play that in Echo Mage? Oh yeah, Ancient Rune Blade thingy plus Ancient Shade. Sounds like a plan, guys. Molten Giant Warrior Unleashed. You can get them out on turn 3 already. If you do yourself enough damage and you coin out the Ancient Shade and then you top deck it and stuff like that whatsoever. No. Now, I would actually play that in Aggro Druid. That would also be a thing. Like, you could replace it for the Shredder spot. Just go for, like, Phase Druid, Darnassus Aspirant into Ancient Shade, into Fel Reaver. Then you mill your own deck and you draw, actually, that card. Does it get burned? Do you get the 7 damage even when it gets burned from that? From the Fel Reaver? I mean, you discard the cards, so you don't draw the cards. That's, like, the thing with the Fel Reaver. How was the... I'm gonna check the text there because I really want to know that right now. It was you discard and you don't draw them, so you would not draw the card. You discard it. That's the same why you don't fatigue with a Fel Reaver. So if you actually Fel Reaver it, would it work? It would burn the curse. Discard the top 3 cards of your deck. You don't draw it. You discard the card. And that means that a Fel Reaver could burn the Ancient Curse away. Yeah, exactly. So, in theory, it sounds like something good in that. I think you can actually use it for it. It's fun. Give a random friendly minion +3/+3, Death Rattle. Yeah, he's good with a Raptor. You know that Rogue Raptor that can steal an effect? I like that. But also, it's just an arena card for me again. It's a 4/4 for 5 uncommon, so you're going to get that really easy. If you just look at the rarity, I'm just like, okay, arena card. Definitely not something else. Yeah, he's a 4/4 for 5. That makes it not so good, and his effect is only good if you have another minion on the board. And there's no guarantee that you're really going to have another minion on the board, and there's no guarantee that you're not going to kill that other minion before they actually kill the Anubis Sentinel. Not good enough, just good for arena. And even there, it's boosting Axe. I can see that happening somewhere, but then he's still a 4/4 for 5. You could also play a Lothab. You can also play other useful stuff on that point. I see possible synergies there, definitely. Like really, Axe. Maybe even a 100 Creeper could be a thing. I mean, that's harder to remove. So you would have to play some really sticky stuff on the board. He would be funny if you play him with a Baron Rivendare together. Oh yeah, you know what? Dreadsteed Warlock. With its Sentinel. And you get your Dreadsteed out. Then you play Baron Rivendare. Boom. We got it, guys. We figured out the next level deck. No problem there. There to help. Will be OP. Okay, Archthief Rapham. Discover a powerful artifact for 9/7/8. I looked at the artifacts and I like that a lot. It looks fun. Like I get the artifact totems here. Like he get 3 he can summon. Is it like the 3 he can summon? Yeah. He can go for the Lantern of Power. Give a minion +10/+10 for 10. He can go for Mirror of Doom. Fill your board with 3/3 mummy zombies. That would also be for 10 also. And he can go for the Timepiece of Horror. Deal 10 damage randomly split among all enemies. He's too slow. He's too slow. That's like that's like the biggest problem there. They're like 3 really good. Yeah, they're mummy zombies. I like that. Oh, you want to see the artifacts? No problem. Give me a second. I can add a second. I need to add a second picture. Wait, no. I need to go around in my cards to show them to you. So that's the Lantern of Power. That's the Mirror of Doom. Fill your board with 3/3 mummy zombies. I would like to see that card in golden, by the way. And that's the Timepiece of Horror. Deal 10 damage randomly split among all enemies. The only problem about that card is Yeah, it's a 9 drop for 7/8. That's fine. But then 10 cost. So you have actually 10. Like you spend him, and then you have to use the card on the next turn. So either swarm your board, give a minion +10/+10 to win, or fill your board or destroy the enemy with 10 damage. It's fun. I think he can be good. He's a 7/8 for 9, that's fine. It depends on how the meta develops. If it's really getting a slower meta, then I see him coming. Against an aggro deck, he's just too slow. I mean, being able to swarm your board with 3/3 mummy zombies is pretty funny. The ability to give a minion +10/+10 is also okay, but only if you push for the win. But do you really need the Archive Reform for that to give a minion +10/+10? If it would be +10/+10 and taunt, I would support that to a certain point, but only +10/+10, then I see like just other cards being more useful. And they just cost 10. Just so late. Everyone is hyped about him. Everyone seems to be hyped about him. Brand Bronzebeard, called him Brian, I'm sorry, bro. 2/4 for 3, good base stats. I mean, a 2/4 for 3 is always good. And your battle cries trigger twice. Anything more to say? He's just cool. You can play him with Dr. Boom on turn 10. And there would be 4 Boom bots. Or you can play him on turn 8 with Dr. Boom if you had the Emperor before. You can draw 2 cards with an Azure Drake. You can double Fire Elemental on turn 9. Stuff like that. You know? He's just good. He's really going for it. Yeah, Dr. 10 play. It's a Mysterious Challenger. Yeah, but they're like not too many secrets. It would be really great if you could every secret double out there. He's definitely, yeah, best heal bot. I mean, Bran and a heal bot is going to be 16. There are just so many synergies. Like, the battle cry cards out there in the world are just insanely good. And they will just make Bran insanely awesome. I mean, he's definitely going to be used in a lot of decks. There will be more and more battle cry decks. Maybe we're going to see Crowd's favorite finally rising in his power. You can go with him for Neptulin. Neptulin was a battle cry also. And you'll get 8 Murlocs. That's like, those are your only 2 cards left in your hand, and you can play Bran, Bronzebeard, and Murlocs. He has like no real downside in the end. It's just like he's a 2/4 for 3, so you could slam him on curve, which you wouldn't do, but you could do it in theory, and then start to play your battle cry cards. And for later game, he has just some insane combo potential. I mean, you can just go like for whatsoever. Could you go for double Matter Bomber? If you play Matter Bomber with Bran Bronzebeard together, it should be 12 bombs flying around. Just so good. I like him. Mistcaller also, Rock Dog. Thank you for saying that. That dude, really great. I like it. Ginny of Seafears. 5 drop, 4/6, great stats. It's just like the Spiteful Smithy. Whenever you cast a spell on another friendly minion, cast a copy of it on this one. That means Druid? Probably. Priest also. Seems like the perfect priest dude. Like Power Word Shield, Villain's Chosen, stuff like that. Druid has Mark of the Wild. Dark Whispers. So every class that has something to buff makes this dude good. Paladin. I mean, Paladin has so many buff cards. I like him. I like him because of the base stats. He's a 4/6, 4/5. And that's already where I just like to see him. You can just drop him as a good 5 drop. He's just like spare parts also. You can spare part someone with plus attack. You can taunt spare part someone and get him rolling. Yeah, he's like, he has no real downside on that side. He's just a good minion, and whenever you do something for your dudes, and he's just also a taunter in itself, because you know how annoying it can be. You already have him, like, you play him on turn 9 together with him a 1-drop from a priest, whatever 1-drop you have then, and a Villain's Chosen. That means you get like twice the power of Villain's Chosen. You just make it 6/10 minion plus whatever minion you have, Northshire Cleric, making it a 3/7. So he's just great. He's just great. Rockbiter also and something else. There's just like I will like to see him. You can make good decks with him. I'm not saying that he's an insane OP card. I'm just saying you can make good decks with him. 100%. You can definitely play him in a Divine Spirit priest deck, because you Divine Spirit something else and he also gets the Divine Spirit and stuff like that. He's just cool. And he can definitely be used. He can definitely be utilized to something amazing. There will be decks playing him, and there will be decks definitely turning him into something awesome. 10/10 artifact on someone else. That's what the people are spamming because it works. I like that. We go for Eerie Statue. Welcome back, guys, to the Silence Druid. You just innervate that dude out. Iron Begal. You innervate that dude. Like, can't attack unless it's the only minion on the battlefield. Well, it's a 4-drop. That's a 7/7. You could silence it. It can just attack always. You play the Wailing Soul, which silence all your things. You play the 2-drop. That's a 4/5 that cannot attack also. You know, yeah, it can get BGH. Congratulations. But on the other hand, you have 2 of those, or you have 3 or 4 of those, or whatsoever. It is definitely going to be used. It's going to be like Wailing Soul, silence all your minions, can work out. You can just taunt it up, and it's already good. I know BGH, but yeah, Handlock has other creatures that make it good. But in general, the Eerie Statue can definitely be good and will be used. I see some decks running it. And the thing is, it's even better than like the... I forget like the name of that 2-drop right now, and that's like really bad after playing 2 years of Hearthstone. But you know how I mean, the 2-drop that cannot attack. It can actually attack. You don't even need to silence it if there's nothing on the board. So I like it. It's perfect. It's just absolutely insane, and it's gonna be a cool card. Ancient Watcher, thank you. So bad about this, not getting my shit straight together. Ancient Watcher. Yeah, together with that and with silence and stuff like that, great. Shuffle the map to the Golden Monkey in your deck. I have to say, I did not understand how that works completely. So I would say let's take a peek at the map to the Golden Monkey. And what does that card do? So 3/5 for 4. First of all, basic, absolute for a 4-drop. Can be used, can kill a Shredder and survive it even. Shuffle the Golden Monkey into your deck, draw a card. Okay, and then the Golden Monkey is... Okay. Arena, 100%. The problem in Constructed is you might get the map to the Golden Monkey. You need to draw that first. You need to draw the Legendary first. Okay, then you need to draw the map to the Golden Monkey, and then you need to draw the Golden Monkey. What if you have no more cards? What if you have no more cards in your deck? Congratulations. Then he just goes away. So it's really gimmicky. I think people will play it. You will see that on stream. It's probably the next Randuin Rin deck. Just going for the Golden Monkey, trying to draw that, mill for it. It's just super slow. It's pretty much like the Mistcaller thing I like to say. You draw Mistcaller in your first 10 cards, he's good. You draw Mistcaller in your last cards, he sucks. So the monkey is a bit different still, because it's actually a minion that gets your own hand better, and it's a 6/6 for 4, which makes it good. But you gotta really draw like all combo pieces together to make it good. You could say, yeah, what if you play a card draw deck? Yeah, what if you don't have any more cards? What if she's like the last card in your deck in the last 10 cards also? Then you're gonna like only have a limited amount of cards that turn into legendaries. Might still be good, but you might still also need the removal cards you actually have that turn into legendaries then. Bran and this could be interesting. You get 2 Golden Monkey cards, but 2 maps, and then the chance is higher. But in general, I don't see that working out. It's like Exodia if it works out, but yeah. Okay, you get a new deck and a new hand with one of each legendary. Is that true? Because I have not seen that. Because I don't know if it like gives you a complete new deck and a complete new hand, or if it gives you only or if it only replaces the card you already have. I don't think it will be good. I don't like her. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna play her once until it works, and then I'm gonna make a YouTube video, and then I'm never gonna play her again. Yeah. So it's not good. I don't like it. If it replaces, it's bad. If it like would like go for that, it's better. Okay, that's the new King Crush in neutral, correct? Somewhere without charge. It's an 8/8 for 8. If you control a beast, gain taunt. Oh, arena card. Thank you for talking about it. The funny part is that it's neutral. I like it. If you control a beast, so beast druid, snake, rogue, not. Yeah, arena card. But I like him. He's a T-Rex. Oh, a Devil Sword. We all know it's a T-Rex, don't we? Gorilla Bot. If you control another mech, discover a mech. If he would just discover a mech with a certain cost, I would like him more. Like this, he's only a 3/4 for 4. And there's a chance that you don't have a mech on 4, so you have a dead card in your hand. And can you really afford that as a mech deck, to not play on curve and have a dead card? Often the mech decks are considered to be face-ish. Ja, bitte, junge Frau. Kann ich Ihnen helfen? Ja, alles super. Was ist das für ein Tag? Ja. Ja, machen wir. Perfekt, kriegen wir hin. Na, mach es, super. Absolut, 100%. Darf ich es erzählen? Ja. Darf ich es erzählen? Okay, machen wir. Ich liebe dich. Das ist ja perfekt, ist ja gar nichts. Ja, ja. Hm? Kriegen wir hin. Das ist perfekt. Super. Ich liebe dich auch. Bis dann, tschüssi. Okay, so that was pretty important because Christina just called. Like I for the ones that don't know it, welcome everyone, by the way. Live long and prosper in my community. So I got engaged this weekend on Saturday, and Christina just called me and said like she reserved our wedding date for next year in October. That she got like the place where we would like to go, and she just asked me if I'm okay with the date next year. To set already now. So we're just like, yeah, what are you saying about the 17th, 2016, October? I could just book that chapel for us. Yeah, why not? Let's just book that for next year then. And we already got that set down. We can put that in the wedding folder, and well, now we actually get a date already when we're going to do that. I like that. Makes me smile because it's good. Okay, let's go back to the Gorilla Bot there. We have, if you control another mech, cover a mech. The good thing is it can be every mech, so it can like be a 4-drop, 5-drop, 6-drop, whatsoever. And you can play with him harder on curve. I see like the problem to actually have a mech out, but on turn 6 you can play him together with something. I like him a lot. He's definitely not a better shredder or something like that. The advantage of him I see is that you can get a really great card out of it that allows you to just like play better on curve. I see him more as an arena drop as in a constructed drop. I mean, if you have Mech Warper plus Gorilla Bot, nice. You have to try it. You really have to try it to see what it goes. Interesting. Well, we're already building one, zombie. No time to waste. I like to organize stuff. Huge toad. Deal 1 damage to a random enemy. It's a beast. You could get it from a web spinner. It's good against Secret Paladin because if he goes for Muster for Battle, you know, then it dies and it kills a 1/1. It's good for a Shredder. It's good in Arena. But it's not really amazing. If you get that from a Shredder, it would be good. It's definitely better than the Bloodfen Raptor, so don't care about that anymore. It replaces like just like no effect cards pretty much. Yeah, you can play it to push just a bit more, but I don't really like it. It's a Shredder buff. That's what I'm saying. Shredder buff. Jeweled Scarab, there is a lot of talking about is he good or is he not. I mean, he's a novice engineer. That instead of drawing a card gives you a 3-cost card. And not as 3-cost minion, it gives you a 3-cost card. And that would I like the Jeweled Scarab the most about. And is a beast, you can get him from a web spinner. Web spinners got buffed so hard actually. So many new beasts to get that are really good. I mean, you play him on turn 2 and you get a safe 3 call. That's a Shredder nerf also. I mean, you get a safe 3 call. You play him on turn 2, you get a 3-drop spell or a minion, and you just play him. So, who cares? This is like, I just like him because he allows you to play on curve. He's super great in Arena. You can definitely play him in Constructed also. There's no real downside on that. But yeah, you can get it from a web spinner, and then web spinner gives you more. But Hammett Nesting where he's getting buffed so hard, so he's incoming. Beautiful. He's the best card ever because he looks so awesome. Murloc Tiny Fin with his little sword, and he's like. And then you play Murloc War Leader and he turns into 3/3 and starts massacring your face. Actually a 3/2. Yeah, best card ever. He's just the Murwisp. I like that. What I like about him is that he costs 0. So you can actually use him for the Shaman buff card to a certain point. Like play him for 0. Reduce the cost of that Shaman buff card by 1. It costs only 6. I like him. I just like him. And yes, you can play him with Hungry Crab together to just get him, buff him there. Added to weaken Murloc Knight, I think. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But maybe not. He's just beautiful. I just like that dude. He's beautiful. I actually am going to play him at some point. Naga Sea Witch. Your cards cost 5. I saw that card also pretty early, and I spent my time thinking about it. On turn 10, she's like really cool because you can play her with whatever together. So you can actually play her on turn 10 with like Naga Sea Witch, Ragnaros. Naga Sea Witch, Varian Rin. Naga Sea Witch, whatsoever. Naga Sea Witch Flame Strike. It's your card, so the spells also. It's like where I like it. If you play a high cost deck and you like get her out on turn 5, you could conceal her. She's a hardcore taunter. I mean, you just like, this girl drops on turn 5 and you're like, oh my lord, I need to kill it or he's gonna play a Nefarian for 5. Stuff like that. It's Naga Sea Witch plus Avienna plus Innervate plus 2 drops. Yeah. Stuff like that. You can do funny stuff with it. Yeah, Naga Sea Witch 5 mana Pyroblast. So it's like Naga Sea Witch plus Deathwing. That's my favorite combo. How could you conceal her with a conceal? Oh, conceal costs 5 now. That's true. Oh, God. You have to conceal. And then you have to turn 10 concealer. Oh, bad. Why is there no death rattle stealth minion? That would be great. When this minion dies, stealth another friendly minion. That'd be great. So you have to play her in, yeah, a ramp druid where only high cost cards are flying around. I mean, she's like Aviana, only different, but still awesome. And you could play her on turn 5 and the enemy's like, yeah, I need to kill her. I mean, she's like your Lothab spot. If you don't want to play Lothab, or if you don't want to play Harrison, or if you don't want to play Belcher anymore, you play just the Naga Sea Witch, and then you have like some big cards in your hand, and you're just like, I like her. It's funny, but I would not say it's a super great. You could not innervate Naga into coin scenarios because your coin would cost 5 too. Not possible. Everything costs 5. It's just interesting. Naga is cool. I like her. For the turn 10 play, Reno Jackson, if your deck contains no more than one of each, any card, fully heal your hero. That means if you have in your deck only one copy of every card left, or in general, then you can heal yourself for 29. And he's a 4/6 for 6. I would say in your remaining deck. So that means you just play anything like one card of each. You like one Shield Slam, one Execute, one Fiery Wax, one Death Bite, whatsoever. Well, you can play it also late game. You have to use this with Deck Tracker. Like, if you use this without Deck Tracker, you're wrecked there. You will never. I would play this card and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty damn sure I've only one copy of every card left. And they're like, fuck you, Hearthstone. It's interesting. I don't really see it being played, but there's a handful of deck that almost only plays one copy of each card. The biggest problem is if you, let's say you really have 4 cards double, you need to wait until you drew one of each to actually make Reno work, or Reno, or however his name is being pronounced, because I'm German, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I think he's too unreliable. It's too unreliable, and that's what I don't like about him. With a monkey map, and then you get him in your deck, he's cool, but yeah. I think he's just too unreliable. Sir Finley Murgleton! Sir Finley Murgleton. Discover a new basic hero power. That means you play Sir Finley on turn 1, Legendary Murloc, and you're getting to choose from 3 hero powers. I love that in a shaman. If you consider that as a shaman, you can finally turn your hero power into something useful. Totems are useful, but you know what I mean. He's just gonna add so much fun to this. I mean, you can play him in every deck. In, yeah, Murloc Paladin, in Murloc Shaman, in Murloc Rogue, in Murloc Mage. In a Freeze Mage, it would be funny. I do agree. Freeze Mage, get the Paladin hero power. Get the Paladin, get the Priest hero power. And you're like, yeah, I can heal myself. And stuff like that. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, Poisonous Blade, finally playable. I do agree on that. Sir Finley sounds good. You can just change your hero power from turn 1 on. Play like even harder Inspire stuff. A Shaman Warrior, yeah, that would be great. You go for a Shaman and you get the hero ability. Actually, he could be an auto-include in every deck. Just to be like, change your hero power. If you're not going for synergy plays, like if your hero power is not needed in your certain deck for something, say you don't need to armor up, know what I mean? You don't need to dagger up. You don't need to druid hero power. Why not? Finally getting weapons for druids. Go for the druid deck. And you get dagger up. Ah! Now I would like to see that. It's fun. Kratash, welcome to the family. Thank you for your subscriptions, brother from another mother. Good to have you with us. Okay, Sir Finley Murgleton, the Summoning Stone for 5 and 06. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random minion of the same cost. Arena? Then even not there. The problem is the Summoning Stone, to make that really worth, it needs to survive a turn. So you would need to conceal it, correct? You need to conceal it to make it good, else it's just not working out. I mean, you can play Summoning Stone Frost Nova, for example, also in a Freeze Mage. Summoning Stone Frost Nova, hope it survives, and then start Blizzard Flamestrike whatsoever. Then it can be good, so that's one play. You can go Summoning Stone, conceal it, and you can also go for Summoning Stone on turn 10 plus Starfall or any other 5-drop to actually summon something. But, yeah, it's either with Freeze or it's either going to be with Emperor if you can go for 4+ whatsoever. But I would say, like, with Conceal, it's actually interesting. Yeah, turn 9 Stone plus a Fireball. What does it use there? If it would clear the board, it would be great. I feel like in an Acro Mage maybe, but now also not there. If you get good 2 Summoning Stones out in an Acro Mage. Alligator, also, welcome to the family, brother. Good to have you with us, chat. Drop, please, some love and some hype for our 2 recent subscribers there. Conceal all the minions. Tom Spider, discover a beast, 3/3 for 4. Well, I mean, the Huntmaster is only a 4/3 for 3, for 4, but it buffs +2/+2. So effectively, it's like a 6/5 minion. The Tom Spider discovers a beast. Any beast. So from 1 to whatsoever cost. Is it Tomb? Or Tomb? Or whatsoever? I'm German, guys. I might mispronounce it. But in German, you would say Tom. Tomb Spider. Okay. Thank you, sirs and ma'ams, for telling. I'm going to cut that out and never talk about it. So you could discover a beast, but no. I don't like that. It's just not good, no. Is it like a 4-drop? It's an arena card. Again, arena card. I would say about that. The Wobbling Runs, if they would cost 4, they are great. Like this, they suck. Wobbling Runs, they are like a 2/6 minion, summon 3 2/2 runs that, like, they don't even have taunt, so that's like the thing, if they would at least have taunt. So effectively, this minion, if it doesn't get silenced, is a 8/12 drop. After you get all those runs running. Yeah, it can just get stolen by Priest. So against Priest, you would never play that card. It's good in a brawl. It's an arena card, absolutely. You can innervate it out as a druid or like white grows it out pretty fast. You can play it and then brawl, but why would I play Wobbling Runs then and not Sylvanas? So yeah, no. It's too slow. As a 5-drop, okay? Let's say it's a 5-drop. Would be good. But it just gets Cabal Shadow Priested, and then it goes to the ground and dies. So I don't really see that working out. Nah. I don't like that. And that was all the cards I have so far from the League of Explorers. I don't know if that were all cards. I think they were like 45 released, 54 released so far. Was that every single card already? It's quite a lot. I like that. So we're going to have some cool cards going around. But 2 attack is just too slow. It dies to too many things and, well, goes down pretty hard. I'm a fan of this dude. As I said, Mounted Raptor. The Raven Idol is going to be good. Those are definitely two cards I'm digging hard for. I want to play. I'm looking forward to the Tunnel Trog. Can be some insane power creep if it works out. Definitely going to try out the Affe mit Waffe, weil voll gut, ey. Geht voll ab. Hat eine Banane auf dem Schild. Der Überhammer. So that's like the idea behind it, pretty much.